What does the Irish word craic mean? Of all the colorful Irish slang terms, crack is probably the most fun, literally. Here's what it means, how to use it correctly, and where it came from, which surprisingly wasn't Ireland. If you're enjoying this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more fun Irish language content. The meaning of crack, pronounced crack, is used to describe the fun, or lack of fun, had at any given social gathering. It's kind of similar to how American English speakers use the word time, like in good time or bad time. But while crack is often modified by an adjective, it still makes sense without one. Crack or the crack just refers more generally to the kind of fun you'd expect to have in a group setting. Take, for example, this sentence from a 1992 article in The Star about Irish rock band, the Saw Doctors, and their time on Clare Island. The lads first came to this lovely island 2 years ago when they heard there was a festival here and decided to go for the crack. Having the crack basically means having fun, as it did in 2018 when Bernard O'Shea, a one-time contestant on Ireland's Dancing with the Stars, told the Irish Times, "If it was called having the crack with the stars, I would have won it." Back to adjectives though, tivs. Crack is a spectrum of sorts. Mighty crack is better than good crack, for example, but not as good as deadly crack. It helps to be familiar with all the levels so you can easily situate someone's statement within the spectrum. Below is a guide based on a rundown from Irish Central. In Irish slang, crack refers to fun, entertainment, or good times, and there's a whole spectrum to describe just how enjoyable an experience was. At the bottom of the scale is minus crack, which signals a truly dreadful time. Bad vibes all around and absolutely no fun to be found. Slightly better, but still forgettable, is good crack, a decent time that might be pleasant in the moment, but won't leave a lasting impression. Moving up, mighty crack describes a solidly enjoyable experience. Fun and lively, though not particularly wild. Things get more exciting with savage crack, which marks a memorably great time, the kind you'll talk about for days. Near the top is deadly crack, a level of fun that's almost perfect, just a hair's breadth away from legendary. Finally, reigning supreme is the crack was 90. This phrase captures the pinnacle of enjoyment, an unforgettable, euphoric experience that stands out as one of the best times of your life. What's the crack? And, there are actually a bunch of other common uses too. The word crack isn't limited to social events. It can basically describe any experience, activity, or even person. It's a compliment to call someone good crack or great crack. In other words, they're fun to be around. If someone's no fun, on the other hand, you'd call them no crack or no crack at all. In November 2023, after footage of musicians playing an impromptu concert during an Aer Lingus flight was posted to social media, commenters had mixed feelings about whether that seemed like great crack or not. As the Irish Times reported, some dissenting voices applauded the performers, wished they had been on the flight themselves, and chided the naysayers as no crack and dry shites. Crack can also mean news or gossip, as in the phrase, "any crack?" This sense has given way to, "what's the crack?" a general greeting that's essentially a synonym for, "what's up?" or "how's it going?" The etymology of crack is, honestly, pretty interesting. These days, the concept of crack is considered quintessentially Irish, but it didn't start out that way. In fact, crack is pseudo-Irish, derived from the English word crack, which itself has roots in the Middle English Craican and the Old English Craicean. Craican and Craicean were both verbs meaning to make a sharp sound, but Craican could also mean to talk, especially loudly and, maybe even boastfully. Geoffrey Chaucer mentioned one of its forms in the Reeve's Tale from the Canterbury Tales, "He craiketh boost," and swore it was not so. By the 1500s, according to the Oxford English Dictionary, people in Scotland and Northern England had started using crack to mean to converse briskly and sociably, chat, talk of the news. Eventually, around the 1700s, per the OED, crack became a noun describing that kind of chat. The term later made the leap to Ulster, Ireland's northernmost historical province, which today encompasses all of Northern Ireland and 3 counties in the Republic of Ireland, Monaghan, Cavan, and Donegal. There, the word took on its current meaning as fun. But that sense didn't really gain momentum until well into the 20th century, and initially it was still spelled crack, not crack. The OED's earliest written reference to crack in the fun sense is from a satirical newspaper column written by Brian O'Nolan, better known as Flann O'Brien, under the pseudonym Miles na G. Copaleen, sometime before 1966. "You say you'd like a joke or two for a bit of crack, and the finger of scorn is pointed at you," he wrote in character as the plain people of Ireland. How crack became crack is, well, kind of a story in itself. It didn't take long for Irish speakers to start Gaelicizing crack as crack when they were speaking or writing in Irish. A notable example is found in the catchphrase, "Bade Siol, Caint Agus Crack Again," meaning we will have music, chat, and fun, which is how Irish broadcaster Sean Ban Brethnack kicked off his chat show SBB Ina Shwe in the 1970s and early 80s. But crack didn't stay confined to Irish language contexts. and by the turn of the century, it had begun to supplant Craic as the favored spelling in English. While it's not totally clear why this shift occurred, it could have something to do with Ireland's increased cultural visibility during that era. Ireland made its World Cup debut in 1990, won the Eurovision Song Contest in 1993, and then introduced the world to Riverdance, which quickly became a global phenomenon, while hosting Eurovision the following year. To this point, you could scarcely imagine a less trendy entity than the Irish pub. Sticky carpets, curled ham sandwiches, Margot on the jukebox out-of-town carpet warehouses offered more temptations to the urban hipster, Irish Times columnist Donald Clark wrote in 2013. All of a sudden, people in good shoes were voluntarily entering hostelries bedecked with copper kettles, battered road signs, and broken bicycle wheels. It was clear that a murky Rubicon had been crossed when my local pub in King's Cross, hitherto the Charles I, changed its name to the Craic House. In short, Irish culture was suddenly cool, and Craic, both the concept and the word itself, with its unmistakably Irish spelling, was part of that wave. In the years since, Craic has proven its linguistic staying power, though some detractors have argued that the Irish spelling has given the term a false sense of historical cultural significance, in Clark's words, a bogus Irishness. But even if Craic hasn't been around for centuries, the communal fun and camaraderie it represents certainly has been. The oldest Irish pub dates back to 900 CE.